So you've probably heard about artificial intelligence, especially if you haven't been living under a rock. And artificial intelligence has come with a lot of different opinions. On one end of the spectrum, people say it's the worst thing, it's Antichrist, get rid of it, I don't want to touch it. To those people, I'm sorry, but I don't think artificial intelligence is going anywhere anytime soon. On the other end of the spectrum, we have people that are use AI. It's the best thing since sliced bread. It's not going anywhere and it is here to stay. Learn AI, learn AI, learn AI. But what if you don't know where to start when it comes to learning AI? Somebody might have told you, hey, just go onto the chatbots and start typing things. But I think that rules out a very important part about what AI is. And that's what we're going to get into in this video. Hopefully, this clears up a lot of things when it comes to artificial intelligence, and it makes you feel more equipped to get out there and start embracing artificial intelligence and using it and making sure that the wrong people don't use it. Because if you're informed, then it makes for a much better product, makes for a much better technology, and a much better experience for everybody else. So let's get into it. Welcome back to the Constance Corner. Today we're going to be talking about AI maxing. We're going to be talking about artificial intelligence and how to get the most out of it. But before we do, we have to understand what AI actually is. Now, a lot of people know AI by the name of, or by the actual description of artificial intelligence, fake intelligence. And we have to understand what that actually means in practice, because I'll say that being somebody who has spent a lot of time in technology, I've been working in technology for over a decade, over 15 years actually now, and with artificial intelligence for the better part of 8 years at a very high level in Fortune 100 companies. And I've seen my fair share of artificial intelligence applied and artificial intelligence theoretically, and all the way from the ground model to actually being used by people that you see every day on the streets that have no technological experience. And I'll tell you that artificial intelligence is a misleading term. It's a humanized way of understanding the way that we deal with information at large scales. So, in very short order, the best way to think about AI, especially if you're not technical or you don't have any experience with technology, is artificial intelligence can be thought of as automated intelligence. So it's still AI, it's just seen from a different perspective. And that automated intelligence is really powerful because with the advances in computers and compute and our ability to store and manipulate way larger pieces of information, it's allowed us to get so good with some of our predictive models to the point where we can start predicting what somebody's going to say next. You can think of it as, especially in the large language space, you can think of it as a very, very, very powerful autocomplete. Instead of completing the next thing that you want to say, the next word that you want to say, it can literally start to autocomplete arguments. We can autocomplete uh, almost any level of instruction, and we can make sense of that through words. And so artificial intelligence is more than just ChatGPT. It's more than just Claude. It's more than just the constant AIs. It is a way of dealing with large amounts of information, and the ramifications of that, the consequences of that is groundbreaking. And that's what we're seeing in today's day and age, is that if we can automate what we know, then we can start to move much faster, because we can design our computers, we can design our systems to take into account what things that we don't necessarily understand or that we're not necessarily aware of. Remember, automated intelligence is largely predictive, and the mechanism behind it is that it can take in way more context, way more information that we're not necessarily aware of. Big data, again, this is an information technique, it's an information technology, it's IT. We can take in way more information whenever we're deciding what to do next. And when we don't know what to do next, we can lean on our AI and it can throw us an assist, just like autocomplete. And so think of it like autocomplete. It can take care of our blind spots when used correctly. Now, why is artificial intelligence important today? Why is it beneficial today? Well, a key part about why artificial intelligence is important today is that it allows us to create massive amounts of leverage. And that's really important in business because businesses are designed to be profitable. We're designed to get more out of what we put in. And that's the power of a business, is that we want to gear towards profitability. It should be something that is self-sustaining and also beneficial to the stakeholders long term. That's why we're in business. And so when you can create any amount of leverage, then that becomes hugely beneficial because that means that we can get better results that we put out, especially over the long term. We can get better results for what we've put in or for the same amount that we've put in. Imagine you put in $1 and then you're used to getting $2. Now you get a new technology and you can put in that same amount of $1 and you can get $5. That's moving towards efficiency, and we're seeing that. There are great consequences of that. Obviously, we're operating more efficiently and lean, but then there are also negative consequences of that, where we are displacing people are displaced because of their work. People are displaced because a job that required 6 of them now just requires 3 people. And that's largely about what the mission is of Constance.com, where we try to create different paths and avenues for people to adapt in this new economy and take advantage of AI. But I talk about that endlessly in different videos. This video is about how you get the most out of artificial intelligence and how you create the most amount of leverage. There was a guy named Archimedes way back in the day who had this saying. He said that, give me a lever long enough and I can move the world. And what he meant by that is leverage is such a powerful concept and a powerful idea that if you can create leverage in a circumstance, you can move mountains. You can create miracles. You can do things that people didn't think possible. And it's about this idea of a lever. Now, a lever is basically, you can think of a long stick operating off of a pivot point called a fulcrum, and you can use it to lift things up. It's kind of like when you can lift up a car, you can lift up different items. The reason why I say that is because in this case, the fulcrum that people continuously overlook when they talk about AI is its understanding, it's a knowledge of what you actually want to do. What are you automating with your automated intelligence? What are you automating with your artificial intelligence? It's still a machine. It's still something that you have to put something in to get something out. And so artificial intelligence is, at this point, it's really limited by our understanding, our questions that we can ask, how to leverage AI, how to use AI for other things. People will say that artificial intelligence is just the be all end all. And if you have that approach, it will make you dumber, especially if you offload your thinking, because your thinking is the fulcrum. Your thinking is the leverage point. Your thinking is the pivot point that artificial intelligence leans on to create its answers, to autocomplete. So if you have for lack of a better term, if you have a dumb thought, AI will autocomplete that dumb thought. If you have a smart thought, AI will autocomplete that as well. And so it really becomes important to understand when you're saying, or when you're giving AI instructions that are good and bad, and knowing how to check your work. That's really, really important, and just knowing how to check your work. Anybody that's used artificial intelligence longly and deeply enough understands that it will give me wrong things, wrong ideas very confidently. So you have to know how to press back on it. If you do and you can get the instructions, great, then that ends up creating a situation where you can multiply a good idea and take action on it very quickly, because you have the resources of technology that can act around you and can be your lever. But if you don't, then you're basically going to be multiplying bullshit. And that's not something that you want to do. And I see it all the time right now. So that's something that people aren't really talking about, is when they talk about AI maxing, they're not talking about the important part, which is making sure that your understanding is up to par. If anything, we all need to be understanding our systems even more. And if we don't, AI can help teach us, but that's not the same application in terms of creating business opportunities and areas for profit. So this episode is brought to you by Constance.com. Constants.com is the #1 mini site in the world. We make it very easy to start a business as a solo entrepreneur or as a small business if you want to grow it. We have tools from a workspace to a mini website to payment processing and more. Really, it's really compact, really easy to use. You can get started in 10 minutes or less. All you have to do is go to constants.com, sign up, and you'll get started for free. So constants.com is the #1 mini site in the world. It's a site that sells while you sleep, and it's a mini site that makes you money. Thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions, any thoughts, let me know in the comments. Don't take my word for it. Get out into the real world, apply what I've been talking about, and like, share, comment, subscribe, or share it with a friend who might need to hear what I'm talking about. This is Tendo, and I will talk to you next time. Peace out.